Jeff, Jim, and Carmela, part number 23. Jim's parents adopted him when he was 1 year old. He never knew his birth mother, and it was anyone's guess about his father. Jim did not know about the adoption until he graduated from high school. He never thought much about the adoption and never did much inquiring about it to his mother and dad. He loved his mother and dad, and they raised him to be a respectable citizen, so the adoption part never did concern him. Jim wanted to join the special forces in the military, but a football injury in high school to his left knee prevented him from passing the physical. His other dream was to become a radio station owner. The reason he went for small market radio after graduating from the radio announcer school, he wanted someday to own a radio station in a small town. It would be impossible to own a large radio station in one of the big cities like Atlanta. In small market radio, he would have a chance to become a radio station owner. He did not count on all the small-town politics coming from people who were celebrities in their own minds. Jim was a wordsmith, and his voice was smooth and easy to understand. Jim knew he was as good at this trade as some he had been listening to on the 50,000-watt AM stations out of Atlanta and Nashville. He also listened to the 100,000-watt radio stations just across the border in Mexico. The Federal Communications Commission only allowed 50,000 watts in the United States, but some enterprising people went across the border and doubled the power of their radio stations. Jim loved conversation, especially with people of like mind. It was difficult to find anyone who could converse above small talk. That limited his friendships, and the reason he did not have friends and considered by some to be a loner, which he was. He had other abilities he was keeping a secret. Working as a disc jockey was in some ways a release of his personality. He attempted to be as natural with his radio delivery as possible. Although he never talked about it, he knew in his heart he was becoming a well-liked disc jockey in Atlanta.